What's going on, Paul City? I'm Do Good Marshall, and I do good, but we can do better. Let's jump right in. Voter suppression. 2022 is going to be an election year, and we cannot let it go down the way the enemy is setting it up to go down. No, because our voting rights are our civil rights, and they're under attack right now here in the good old US of A. Again, we know what this is. We've been through this. We know what not having voting privileges does to our communities and to our families. We can see it. During the 2020 presidential election, Donald Trump's strategy, it ended up being just ask me who won and I'll let you know it was me. And now his entire party is putting out the message that voting can't be trusted. Like voting itself. Just actual elections, even when they're done by and for Republicans, are inherently untrustworthy. And we shouldn't be looking to them to decide our political outcomes. But see, that's not a campaign against the Democrats. That right there is a campaign against democracy. We have state lawmakers introducing voting and election bills at a relentless pace. Towards the end of February, there were 253 restrictive bills that had been introduced. And then by the end of March, that number was all the way up to 361 bills that had restrictive voting provisions. That was across 47 states. And I know there's been like 6 or 7 of them that have already been signed into law. You got voter ID, absentee voting, disability access, early voting, polling locations, student voting, criminal disenfranchisement. All of these things have been voted on all over the country right now. And to be fair, it's not all bad. There do exist several bills, and we would consider those expansive because they make it easier for citizens to get their votes counted. But we're not seeing that everywhere. And would you care to guess whose voting rights are being targeted the most aggressively? Yeah, it's poor and/or elderly people of color down in the South. That's who. Last time I checked, Arizona had introduced 23 bills that had different restrictive provisions for the vote. Georgia had 25. Texas was leading the entire country. They had 49, almost 50. And there's only 3 states, it's Delaware, Ohio, and Vermont, who hadn't introduced a single voting bill with those restrictive provisions. And good on those states for that. I give them a hand. Because democracy works best when all eligible voters can cast their ballot freely and fairly. John Lewis used to say that our vote is our most powerful nonviolent tool. And now there's a John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. What it would do is root out voting barriers that discriminate against voters of color and protect our fundamental right to vote. It's the ACLU that's making it a lot easier for us to support this act. What I did, I went to action.aclu.org. Again, that's action.aclu.org. And it only took me about 3 minutes. I was able to send a letter out to Congress. And the reason I did that is I'm out here trying to do good. If we all act, we can do better though. This is Do Good Marshall, Pole City. Drink water, love each other, and I'm out.
my new black.